Good morning, everyone.
Yo, what's going on?
What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the House of Nerd. We are happy to have all our nerds here with us today. We got Sergio over here. What's up, Serge?
What's going on?
We got Steve over here.
Morning, fellow comic readers.
And we got me, your friendly neighborhood bye. I finally figured out the mirroring, guys. I figured it out today. We have an awesome show for you all today. We've also made it even more helpful for you because we put our Twitter handles by our names. I took a note from the Let's Go podcast peeps. So Emmett, Chris, and all y'all over there. Thanks for letting me learn from you, I guess. And make sure you watch the Let's Go podcast. They're really great. There's some good pals of ours.
Yeah, if I get any more virtual harassment from doing this, it's gone. Like it's
as a straight cis white man, you get a ton of virtual harassment, don't you, Steve?
Lauren, my life is very hard.
I'm sure it is compared to everybody else. Steve, you just wow.
They just don't understand.
But yeah, so we got an awesome show for y'all today. We are going to play a game of Who Drew It. We're going to talk about comic tags, what the heck those are, if they have value to them. We got our copper drop, but first, let's talk about our week in review. My buddy here, Serge, what'd you get this week? What the heck?
All kinds of good books, all kinds of good stuff. Man, it was a good week in comics, guys. Like, the amount of quality titles that came out was pretty. It was fun. It was fun to go through through all the books there. I grabbed Geiger. What is this? Issue number 4. This issue I liked.
Yeah, I'm surprised that's not on. I'm surprised that's not on your top list because you've had Geiger on pretty consistently.
Geiger's been fun, man. Last issue I was like a little. I felt like it didn't move the story forward. This one it did, and there's like some dope action sequences in here, very Mad Max-esque.
Right.
So like chase scenes, crazy stuff. It was fun. I digged it. Not in my top 5 though. I also grabbed Basilisk. I've been enjoying this. Only 2 issues in, but it was very good. I'm gonna save some thoughts on that because someone else may have them in their top 3 for discussions. So my top 3. Now, if you guys know, for those who are following me, my mutuals on Twitter, I did a little something fun. I had posted if anybody was able to guess my top 3 picks in order this week, I'm gonna send you guys a pick of any of those books. I wanted to send it through your way. So we're gonna find out if anybody.
Ooh, this is exciting.
Hold on, wait. Are we allowed in this? Can I get in on this thing?
Go for it, bro. Yeah, why not, man?
Where you been, Steve?
Why not?
Place your bet right now.
Though.
Top 3 for sure.
No. Hold on. Number 3. So right off the bat, Tales Told in Techno Horror Season 1. You guys already know, man.
You know we like this shit, y'all.
I enjoyed this very much. I think all of us were really digging it. We had our advanced review. We dropped that video at the beginning of the week. So if you haven't checked it out already, make sure you go check that out for our full thoughts. All 3 of ours thoughts on that.
Yep. Sergio, real quick, sorry to interrupt. Chris was wondering why they're not getting something more special than a book. Like, you have your OnlyFans link to give to the winner.
You already know. That goes without saying. You guys know, man. You guys know. The paid tier subscription to the OnlyFans that's dropping for the winner as well. I didn't think I had to mention that. But guys, okay, let's get into it. Tales Told in Techno Horror. As you can see, right here, the art is like so sick, unreal. Christian Dabari just crushed it. That panel there that's up on the screen is actually from the pinup gallery at the end of the book. So if you're not familiar, Tales Told in Techno Horror is a collection. It's an anthology style collection of short horror stories. Each one different subgenre within horror. You've got sci-fi, you've got eco horror, You've got like a Hellraiser-esque story in there.
They all slap.
Serge, I would say if they want a real in-depth review, a real in-depth on our thoughts, all of our thoughts on this book, I would say go check out our advanced review of this book. Is there anything that you may have realized that you wanted to say in that advanced review that you forgot or you didn't mention that you'd like to say now?
It's basically a lot of rehashing of what we did say, but for those who haven't watched it, check it out, guys. Again, different collections, subgenres of horror stories. The writer Kieran Tagan, he crushed it. Simon Go on coloring. So very, very good stuff. I'm already looking forward to
check them out on
Season
Twitter too, because they made the creators made a compilation video of people reviewing it and talking about it, and they found us apparently and posting it. So that was really cool to see. So it's cool that creators are finding us and that we can help support them. So do check them out on Twitter and such, because they want to be heard and seen, and they should be.
And Sergio, what's the actual title of the book? Because you got it incorrect a lot of times. What's the actual title?
Tales Told in Techno Horror, Season 1. Go out and cop that, guys. And like
there you go. We got you a new soundbite, guys. We got you a new one to clip from him.
Like Lauren mentioned, they put out this dope compilation video featuring a whole bunch of cool channels, including us here at the House of Nerds. So that was pretty cool to see.
So if that's number 3, what's number 2, bruh?
My number 2. The Nice House on the Lake.
What is that? Nice House on the Lake?
That looks like I don't know if it's nice body and a bathtub.
You know what that looks like? That looks like the book that I was trying to get us to read for Copper Drop, and it's so far consistently good. What's this?
Was that a copy? What did we pick that week?
You picked not that.
I'd be curious.
It was. Oh, what was it? I think it was another Cullen Bunn book.
I don't remember. Probably. Does anybody remember in the chat which book we picked instead of Nice House on the Lake that week for Copper Drop?
I think that might have been the Wonder Supergirl week, but
I don't. That was my pick. I picked Reptilian over Wonder Woman, and I regret that, but it's fine.
It was another horror-esque book, and the reasoning was, well, this is James Tynion, and you know it's going to be good, and we're going to be picking it up anyway.
No, it was the same reasoning as Steve got you do the other time of, let's do something new, and then you regret it.
This was okay. So I'm gonna kind of interject with Sergio here, just because Nice House on the Lake is also my number 2. So, Serge, I want us to kind of take some time and go at this book because, holy crap, man! I love number 1. I loved what it did, and number 2 just kind of, to me, it took a breather, and it kind of got people up to speed to see where everyone was at, like emotionally and in their headspace with everything that happened in number 1, and it was a slower issue, I'd say.
Yes,
there wasn't a lot of big revelations, but man, I'm loving the style.
Shout out Kieran Tagan in the live chats. Yeah, man, we love Tales Told in Techno Horror here. Thanks for popping in.
When season 2 comes out, let us know, please.
Yeah. I'm saying I think we gotta get the creative team on the show. I don't know what Lawrence, what you guys are thinking, but
absolutely,
I love to have you guys on.
Of course, the world.
Season 2, man. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen.
Absolutely.
Slide in our DMs, as the kids.
Slide in.
All right, Nice House on the Lake, number 2.
So, Steve, you were saying, it does slow it down, but you know what I love is that there's so many different characters in this book, but yet somehow James Tynion, he manages to build a lot of these characters.
They have a voice.
Emotional stakes are there. If something happens, as a reader, I'm gonna care.
Yeah,
and that's difficult to do, I think, in this instance because there are so many.
There's like 10 characters.
I was gonna say, did y'all? Because I read the first issue. I didn't pick up issue 2, not because I hate it, but just because
there's a lot going on.
I mean, it's an interesting premise, but I wasn't sure I was going to be invested which way it was taken. And I wanted to honestly crunch down my budget this week. But I'm interested. Were y'all able to keep up with all 10 characters and feel fairly equally? You know, obviously there's more one character you might connect more with the other, but were you able to keep up with all of them and not get jumbled up and follow the narrative?
Yeah, so I will say in issue 2, like Lauren says, there's a lot of characters. There's at least 10 characters in this. I liked going off of what Sergio was saying. Each character definitely has a voice and a personality that is different from every other character. It's not like Bendis talk. It's not like the writer coming through on every character and it feels the same. Each character has their own voice and feels like a different entity. Yeah. That being said, though, Lauren, for issue number 2, I was still kind of feeling like which moniker is which character. Like they give the moniker of like the architect, the doctor, the writer. So far, a few of those that they've used constantly, I've kind of gotten used to. Okay, which one's the writer? That's the writer. That's the. It's more so the lesser ones. Like this guy in the hat here. He's like the funny character. I think he might be the comedian, but I could be wrong.
You know what I found helped that is that I think there's like 2 or 3 pages of script, and it's very much like a
security chat or whatever,
like a TV script. It's similar to that, so that helped kind of familiarize. I like Tinian's technique there for us to help familiarize with the different characters and such. So yeah, what he managed to do, getting us to learn and care about all these different characters, I think is no easy feat. And then the art, man, holy guys, like Alvaro Martinez Bueno. What can I say? The art is bueno. So I mean, you can see it's honestly gorgeous, man.
It's absolutely.
So I wasn't familiar with this particular artist prior to reading The Nice House on the Lake, but I gotta say I'm gonna follow his work. I was gonna say
he's probably gonna get quite the following. With this book with James.
Yeah, like that's gorgeous.
Like this page alone is like this would sell anyone on it, not because of the whole naked man thing. That's fine, but the whole aspect of like
fine. Okay, Steve,
just look at it, like. I don't know. I'm with you on that.
It's honestly gorgeous. Yeah, it's stunning. Like it makes you feel like you're at the lake house. You're looking through that window there.
The weirder part is this is not a book that I would expect to be published by DC. This is a DC Black Label for those that don't know. And the DC Black Label, it's a line for them to do like out of continuity things with their superhero characters, but it's also a way to kind of replace what they had with Vertigo. And this is really the book that kind of cements it to me that DC Black Label can be something outside of the DC superhero stuff.
And I like that they're using, I mean, granted, I did like the Vertigo imprint a lot personally, but I do like that they are managing, it looks like, to create an imprint that can both serve as a horror imprint and still do dark superhero stuff. And at some point those merge, I would think, right? You can do horror superhero stuff, which makes complete sense to me, and it works for the DC universe incredibly well. We know this. Everybody's always like DC's darker than Marvel. There's not really one that's darker than the other, but DC leans more into their darkness a lot.
Yeah, it was something
it
was something that came up in the TO discussion yesterday. It's interesting to note that DC does have a DC Black Label. It's a label that it's very much for mature audiences. It's very much for adults, or a lot of the books do cater to an older audience, whereas Marvel, they don't have a different label or a different imprint or a different thing to give mature audiences a chance to see these characters in a different light or to have these darker stories told. Marvel is very much, it's all just Marvel.
And if I didn't know, I mean, that this was DC, it doesn't feel like it feels like just like an indie.
It feels like an Image comic, to be honest, to me.
Absolutely.
That's my first thought.
So, I mean, it's great what they're doing. James and the creative team, they're knocking this one out the park.
Yeah.
So, Serge, if that's your number 2, and you've got all that to say about that, what in the world could be your number 1? Like, what could be better than all those good words?
So, I'm curious.
I think I know.
Steve,
raise your hand if you all think you know in the chat. What's his number 1, guys? Say it in the chat.
What is going to be my number 1 pick? All that I know.
I think it's obvious. I think it's too obvious.
myself and Steve were on the same page. You know, we had the same number 2. We're both gonna have the same number 1. Steve, do you have your copy on you?
No, I don't. But
right there.
Right there,
guys.
So that means
Carmen
number 5,
the
final issue.
I just want to give. Can we give a clap to Guillaume March? Like, holy jumping, guys! Wow, beautiful work here. Bittersweet ending, that's for sure.
I'd say no spoilers because I'm finally catching up, guys. I know I wasn't the biggest fan of the first issue story, but Oscar, one of our friends that watched this show, he convinced me to catch up.
When I finished this book, when I closed that last page, no word of a lie, I had literal goosebumps. It was that good. I couldn't believe what I read. You know, Steve, what did you think of the ending? Did you find it fitting? Did it tie up the story nicely for you?
So going into this, I was telling a friend that I got to start reading it as well. I may have told you this too, Sergio. The ending, when I finished number 4, I was like, there's got to be an ending. There's got to be a definitive ending, and it has to feel satisfying. Mm-hmm. It has to feel something that has weight to it, and it shouldn't feel cheap, because so far the story has done just really, really well with, like what Joey says, not exploiting the nudity in here like they could have. The nudity is not exploiting. It's very real, and I wanted an ending that felt real, and I wanted an ending that made me feel like it was worth it. And this book, to me, everyone may not agree on it, but to me, it has a very satisfying conclusion to it. I don't want to say anything more than that, because it could go in any number of ways, and that's what I was debating when I finished number 4. I was like, it could go this way, it could go that way, it could go this way. But at the end of the day, I wanted it to be satisfying. Yeah. And even before the last page, even before I got to the last page, there were parts where I was like I wanted to tear up towards it. Like like this book is a book. It makes me really feel something for it. Yeah. And the conclusion, definitely, it was worth it. Like, it really was. It was really worth it.
There is a bathroom scene, and I gotta say, for myself, I was fist bumping.
Yeah, no spoilers though. Like, it's a satisfying conclusion.
Yeah, I'm on issue 3, so now I'm even more excited to finish it if it's that good. So
yeah, and you're gonna love it, Lauren. Yeah, you know, roller coaster of emotions is all I can say. Satisfaction, joy. You're literally how Guillaume March, he managed to get me completely emotionally invested with these characters. You know, what he did is honestly not nothing short of incredible. You know, what did I want to? You know, obviously this book is touching on, you know, afterlife, karma, all that good stuff, and
mental issues. He's dealing with some mental
health issues for sure. You know, and you know, it's definitely, you know, to see Kata's character arc, you know, what she came through and how he managed to tie that up at the end. It's full circle. It's, for me, I think it's going to end up being easily in the discussion for my top books of the year, and just not this past year, but
I think for me, I was asked what are like my top 5 books of all time, and usually my top 5 books, they're not like perfect books, but they're books that I would want to go back to, or I'd want to recommend to people. And you know, usually within that list, it's like Day Tripper is always in that list because of how it made me feel after I read it. Carmen, when this trade comes out, this is going to be a book that will be in that list for me. It's going to be a book that I will want to recommend to certain people. It's going to be a book that I want to go back to and read it. It did everything it needed to in 5 issues, and I'm glad it didn't go any longer. I'm glad it didn't like stretch any of it out. I'm glad that it feels satisfying and it feels complete, and it's a story that I can't believe all one person did it. And like, what a feat! Like, what an amazing feat to do the art, coloring, writing, to do it all. Like, it's really what makes indie comics so special.
I don't remember the last time I read a book where the art, every page, there's so much detail.
Yeah.
Particular with like those, the landscape shots. It's ridiculous, man. Yeah, I mean, what else can we say that we haven't already through? I think every week that Carmen has been out,
it was a top.
I think it's been my top book.
Yeah,
so,
easily for you guys.
Absolutely.
So, Serge, your top 3 are Tales Told in Techno Horror. You've got Nice House on the Lake for number 2, and then number 1 is Carmen, right?
Carmen, number 1, guys. Please,
are Serge's picks.
If you didn't pick up the singles, 100%
get the trade.
You can say get the trade. Because as good, and I was just that thought just crossed through my mind. As good as it was issue to issue,
it's going to be
month to month. I feel like it was.
I personally think it's going to be better in a trade. Like I'm 3 issues in, and I'm liking reading it all together, like closer, because I've read it over the last 2 days, in between life. But yeah, I like that better than and I think it fits. And also, again, Steve, I just want to say it early because you mentioned it. I think there's something to be said about a story that has a good ending. It doesn't matter how long it goes, as long as it's done well. Yeah. Because so many fans are like, "Oh, I want this going forever." It's like, sure you do because you like it, but also in reality, no. If it can get a great ending at 5 issues, then it only needs to be 5 issues, and that is up to the writer's discretion, of course. And when writers do that, and they know it, it makes me so grateful. So,
I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, the way he ended it, I wouldn't want it to continue. I mean, it's perfect. It's perfect how everything was wrapped up.
So yes, Steve. So we already know your number 1 is Carmen. Your number 2 is Nice House on the Lake. Yeah. So anything else you picked up this week? Your number 3. Let's go into that real quick.
Let's kick this off. So I did pick up a lot of books for me. This was a week where I read a lot. Let's go through my Marvel bullshit, as I'll say. Amazing Spider-Man, always on here. Prelude to Sinister War. Right now, they're racing to the Nick Spencer end of 74 so that they could get to Beyond, Spider-Man Beyond. I don't know. Like I said before, I'll say it again. It feels like the wind is out of the sails, and hopefully he has a satisfying conclusion. But I don't have faith that it will be, because right now it feels like we're rushing towards the end rather than it being something that.
How many more issues, Steve, for him to wrap up?
This was 70, so that means
he's only got 4 more, right?
4 more, and he has to do all of the Sinister War, and he has to. Well, there might be a giant size or something within that. Like they've been doing a lot of giant sizes to finish off and concluding the arc. So who's to say? Who's to say Sinister War will actually be
that starts this week,
separate issues? Yeah, the next book, it says, is Sinister War number 1. So not even counting the 4, there's going to be a Sinister War number 1. I don't know what else comes after.
Okay.
But they're rushing towards the end, and I really like Nick Spencer's run. So I'm a little bit disheartened.
I think they're just trying to clean it up, bro, because there's a lot of people that haven't liked it, too.
Yeah.
It's very hit or miss. Like, you either really like it or you really are just like, get this over with.
It honestly feels like a Tom King situation all over again, where the projected was 100 issues, and you could feel it because issue 50 was it was just like the wedding issue where you felt like it was a halfway point of his arc, and then out of nowhere he got his legs taken from underneath him, and now it's like, let's rush to finish it. And it doesn't feel like it was Nick Spencer's idea. It just feels like it was editorial.
Probably not. It's always editorial for the most part.
Yeah. Other stuff. X-Force, it was okay. Nothing more to say. And I know some people are surprised that my number 3 is not the all-new number 1 X-Men written by Jerry Duggan, because I've been digging a lot of what Duggan's been writing for Marauders. So this book it's an honorable mention.
It was okay.
It was okay. I like the idea of the new team,
all there.
But I'm agreeing with Lauren. Like it wasn't amazing, didn't blow me away, but it is set up.
I do want to say I'm not a fan of Cyclops and Jean leading the team. I think they can be there for 5 issues to help set the new team up because they're 2 of the OGs, and then they need to leave, and then I think Polaris should lead the team. But that's just me.
I like Polaris leading, but don't take away my boy Scott.
No, Scott can go do other things. He's still gonna be important. You can't ever take Scott out of being an important part of.
Don't take this from me, Lauren. Don't take this from me.
He's led so many X-Men teams, Steve. Get new people leading. Let Polaris lead. You can't have someone else leading and Scott not
She was just leading X Factor. She was just leading X Factor.
But Scott's going to overpower Polaire. So will Jean, too. This is also me calling out Jean needing to go, as much as I do love Jean.
We'll see how it goes.
New team. New X-Men team.
It's a nice start. I'll say that. But it was honorable mention. Wasn't my number 3rd, like Lauren said. My number 3rd is Basilisk. It was a book that we said to cop when we read issue number 1 for good reason. Basilisk managed to do what some of Bun's other stuff didn't. It made me actually care. It made me like want to read more of the books.
You're right.
I love the premise of what's going on. I love the aesthetic appeal of the flashbacks to the present day. This is an image of the flashback.
The coloring is fantastic. Absolutely phenomenal.
And I love how the present day it's cleaner. It's got the modern colors. It really does feel. It's 2 different tones, and I love it. I like the flashback tones are very horror centric and gruesome, as we're seeing here. And I love the idea of how well this tone matches for the flashbacks and how well the present day coloring matches for what's currently going on. This is the present day, and honestly, the coloring of present day it's just as cool and aesthetically pleasing as the flashbacks are. This book I really loved. I like the fact that we're learning a little bit more of the connection between these 5 characters, these 5 godly characters. Who knows? I don't know. They've got these powers.
I still don't completely understand, but I'm not hurt about it. I'm still intrigued enough. It got me hooked too. So.
We do know now at least what these characters' powers are in some manner. It feels like each of these 5 characters has a different power, and I'm not going to spoil what it is, but I like the idea of how the powers are being used, and I'm looking forward to number 3.
Yeah, no, it was good. I like how they opened and they closed with the flashback scenes. That art in particular from Jonas Scarf. It's killer, man.
It's oh my god, it's
Now, did you guys find the dialogue at times between the Chimera a little clunky, almost?
But I think it was, I know what you're saying.
It was funny, like it sounded off. But I think it was intentional, like almost like they're like.
Yeah, it didn't bother me because
I don't know.
Yeah, it didn't bother me because when I read it, it seemed intentional that they just talk weird like that to each other. Like they're just fucking weird. Like if you meet different people, this is a real thing. People, based on the groups they are, based on what's happening, they talk different, and not just in dialect even, but just in how they put their own words together and such. So to me, I just thought it's like, oh, that's just what these really creepy, messed up demon god things do. They just that's how they commute. That's how they talk with each other. So that's my top 3. I didn't find it bad.
So that's my top 3. Basilisk, number 2. Nice House on the Lake, number 2. And my number 1, obviously, Carmen, number 5. Check out Carmen. Lauren.
Solid.
Lauren, what are the books of your week?
Yeah. Real quick, just before I do that, I saw the Wednesday poll guys in the chat. What is up? I'm assuming it's Lex, but I don't know. Maybe Simon's popped in too. I'm assuming it's Lex. So make sure you check the Wednesday poll list out. They're great. They're on Twitter and all that. I write reviews for them. I just want to give them a quick shout out. My top 3 this week. Full disclaimer, these surprised the hell out of me this week. So a lot of the stuff that I picked as my top were things that just surprised me. There were so many good books this week. Steve, Serge, and I were talking earlier, y'all, and we were just like, it was really hard picking a top 3 and then putting them in an order. Runner up. It hurts me to say runner up to this because it is not a runner up, but like again, too many good books this week. Swamp Thing number 5 is so good, y'all. Just because it's not my top 3 does not mean you shouldn't pick it up. It should be in the top everything. It's amazing. Ram V is doing the Lord's work. They're all good. The mics on the book, they're great. I think there's a guest star on this. I'm not sure, but pick it up. This is the B cover. It is absolutely gorgeous. I do want to say one of the biggest reasons it's not in my top 3 this week is because it's great every week, and I always expect it to be good, and it has not let me down. So it was not a surprise how good it was this week. It was just great as it always has been. So make sure you pick that up. My top 3 this week. My top 3 really surprised me. My third one in particular. It's not X-Men #1. But it is an X book, and it's actually the X book I've been enjoying the least lately. But Children of the Atom, that really surprised the hell out of me this week.
It's very surprising when you said that, and when I saw you say that. I've not read any of this book. There's different X-line books for different people, and I like the way that they're doing it. This is a book that, so far, from what I've heard, it doesn't seem like it's appealing to me, or it would appeal to me. What are your thoughts on why this book is in your top pick for this week?
So, in particular, this issue. So, I think I liked the first issue. The second issue was okay. 3 and 4 weren't really hanging for me, but I was like, it's only going to be a couple issue series. I'm enjoying it. Why not? I really liked this one because it focuses on little Daycrawler there, as they call him. Terrible name, but it's fine. Named Jay. He's 13 years old, and I'm like, how am I going to relate to a 13-year-old boy? How, cute kid, but what am I going to do? The way they wrote this character's dialogue in particular, this issue, it just hits different, to be honest. It was very fresh. I really like this issue too, because you get to see the X-Men working with these kids. Now it's important to know that these kids, or at least most of them, wink, aren't actually mutants. And so
they're pretenders. They're bigger pretenders.
Stop it, Steve. All but anyways. So but I really enjoyed it because it was great to see these kids working with the X-Men, and it gave me a feeling of older X-Men comics where you get to see, kids being superheroes and looking up to X-Men stuff. It was just a good, wholesome family feel. And for some reason I needed that this week. It was just so fun to read. And in particular, I really like Storm's character in this because she comes in, she's all like, these fucking assholes are being rude to kids. Are they serious? We're going to wreck them. Give the leader to me. She just has no qualms, and it's great. So yeah, it was just a good family, wholesome issue. So if you're an X-Men fan and you have a soft family side, this issue is just some good fun to read.
What is, can you give a quick premise on what this book is about?
Children of the Atom, each book for the most part, I think the first book introduces the team. They're these kids that for some reason look like different X-Men. You've got the leader that's like Cyclops, you've got this, you got that. And I think each issue has mostly been focusing on after the first issue or so, one character at a time to kind of get to know them a bit. So I think, in general, these books will only hit if you can vibe with the characters and these kids. Right. And, we're older. I know I'm in my 20s, but that's still older. It's harder, like I said earlier, to relate to 13-year-old kids nowadays to me, I think they're kids. Great. Woohoo. We love them. They're cute. But I can't relate to them now. I'm older. Shit. So that's why in particular, again, it surprised me that I actually really enjoyed this. After I read, I was like, well, what the hell? I enjoyed that.
So that's your number 3. Doesn't make sense.
Yep. That's my 3. My number 2, another one that surprised me, not because I thought it'd be bad, but just because I didn't think I'd put this high up. Basilisk.
Yay.
I really enjoyed that too. It's a really good horror book. Yeah. I think we said it a lot when Steve talked about it. So I will save most of my words. But if you're a horror person, definitely pick this up. I agree with Steve. You're out of the line, but you're right. Colin Bunn actually made me invest in this time. So
well, he manages, what he does well, really good, is he moves the story forward with using he's very concise. He uses as little words as possible. He
my God. And
write an essay on each page to move the story forward. So he's great at that. They set the tone and the vibe really nicely.
Yeah. He really got it there. So props to you, Bun. I'm enjoying this bun you've made for us. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. That's number 2. What's your number 1? Because you didn't talk about Nice House on the Lake with us. You didn't talk about Carmen with us.
No, because I didn't pick them up this week, so I can't say good or bad towards them, right? That's not fair. So this one really surprised me. Again, it was really hard to order these. I honestly debated playing Swamp Thing as my number 1 at one point. I did this, I did that. But I actually went with our Copper Drop last week. I went with Ordinary Gods. My copy is actually with my sibling upstairs. That's what I have in my hand. But yeah, Ordinary Gods. I just really was surprised again by how much I enjoyed this. I don't typically enjoy big fantasy epics. They go over my head. It's too much going on. It's not my thing. I'm more of a sci-fi person. That said, I really just enjoyed how epic this felt, and it actually worked for me. Kyle Higgins writes Radiant Black. Radiant Black is phenomenal. If you don't read it, read that. Yeah, I just love this. It was new. It was fresh. It was well written. It had a ton of action. It was well paced overall, I think. There were some parts that dragged a tiny bit, but they were necessary, I think, from a writer standpoint. Really enjoyed Ordinary Gods. I don't regret it for Copper Drop last week in terms of me putting it forward. So.
All right, so I think we can kind of expect what your answer is going to be for the Copper Drop segment.
Yeah, that was a spoiler. That was a spoiler.
We'll get into the book more in detail when we get to that segment.
But yeah, so that is our week in review, y'all. Let us know what you think of our top books, how you would order things, what your tops are for your week, all that good stuff. Before we go to our game, make sure you like the video, keep talking in the live chat and all the good stuff. Subscribe and hit that bell on our YouTube channel because we want you to make sure you are getting all our content from us. But we are going to go to our game today, and Sergio has decided to torture Steve and I today, and he's made a game of Who Drew It?
Oh, yeah.
It's going to go very well.
It's going to be terrible for me, I feel like.
Of Who Drew It. I think we played this way back in like way back in
way back episode
what are we on? We're like
episode 13
now, so a couple months ago. So we decided to bring it back. Gonna have a little bit of fun with it, and definitely we want everybody in the live chats to play along. And you get bragging rights and also a crisp high five. Depending on local health regulations.
I don't trust your high five, Sergio. I don't know why.
I give the crispest of high fives. I gotta say, man, my high fives are solid. They're known. So yeah, man,
what's the rules of the game, Serge?
Yeah.
Let's do
for people that haven't seen us play this game before.
Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory, guys. But so I'm gonna put up a panel or two of art. And Steve and Lauren have to guess. I'm going to give you 3 options. Steve and Lauren have to guess who is the artist who drew that particular piece.
All right.
So let me jump into the presentation here, and we're gonna get into it. So are you guys ready?
I am ready.
Oh yeah.
Probably lose again.
I hope you buy your A game because. The first panel, I gotta say, listen, this first one here, if you guys don't get this one, I think
me feel 20 times worse because watch me miss it.
You're gonna lose your street cred here on this one. So I'm starting it off nice and easy for you guys. I
think I know this one. I think I know this one.
Who's that? Who drew it, guys?
I don't know. No, I'm kidding.
I'm saying it's Alex Ross.
Mr. Ross himself.
That's what I'm saying.
I wish you had told me you were putting Ross in this, Serge, because I have a giant Justice League comic that's Alex Ross art in it, and it's like this big. It's fucking huge.
Well, I love his art. But are you guys sure it's Ross? Because we got Bermejo on there. We got Liam Sharp.
That's Ross.
I'm pretty sure that's Ross. I've seen this one around. I'm like 99.99% confident.
If it's not Ross, I'm gonna come get you, Serge.
Yeah.
All right. Let's find out who it is, guys.
It's not Sharp. That's for sure.
Oh, look at that. Yeah. It is Ross.
Is there a point system to this? Is it 1 point per thing?
It's 1 point. That's it.
Yeah,
okay, so
that's
we're tied
easy.
right now.
I can't math today, guys.
Knot it up at 1, guys. You guys play along in the live chats. Keep track. Let us know who's gonna have bragging rights. I'm glad you guys got that because it would have been ugly if you didn't.
It's Alex Ross.
Next up, look, we got some dope black and white art here, guys.
Oh well,
some nice
I like this. It looks familiar, but I'm not sure.
Now tell me, how sexy is that Elektra? Oh, I love this piece. So, who do we got? We got a couple options here. We got A. Is it Mitch Gerads? B. Is it Mirka Andolfo? Or C. Felipe Andrade? Who?
I'm gonna screw around and say it's Felipe.
Felipe?
Yeah,
that Elektra just looks like a Felipe Elektra.
I know it's not Mitch. I don't think I've seen Andolfo's artwork, but I feel like this is Andrade. It reminds me of the Magic What If that he did.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of the Electra there kind of reminds me of Layla Starr.
We got lots of B's in the
Layla
chat. We
Starr
got
is
a
your
C
thinking,
for
eh?
Dragon Ranger.
Okay.
I want to say it's C, but there's a lot of B's in the chat.
A lot of B's.
Come on, bro.
Okay, let's find out. Who is it? Who is it?
Yeah.
Felipe.
All right. We're tied, Lauren. 2-2.
2-2.
You beat the chat too of the Dragon Ranger. Ranger.
If we did a lifeline and it was choose the audience, we would not be in the correct right now.
Well, I'm glad you guys got that correctly, considering we had Felipe on here a couple weeks ago. So for those who are fans of Felipe Andrade's art or the many Desolate Star, you can check out that interview in our vids. Next piece up, what do we got here? Ooh, got some very colorful artwork here.
Bet.
Yeah.
Where are my options?
What do we got here?
This is a
guess. Guys. Are we looking at A, George Perez?
Oh, god dang it. You put good options here.
Alexis Zarit, or C, Jack Kirby, the legend, one of the GOATs.
See, here's the thing. Jack Kirby doesn't color like this. He could have drawn it, but he didn't color like this, to my knowledge. Am I wrong on that, though?
I don't know. Jack Kirby is very psychedelic. Man.
I'm going with Alexis, but it's that's the thing. This could be Kirby drawing, but I don't think he colored like this.
Okay, Steve, what are you thinking, buddy?
I don't know. I don't think I've seen Alexis's art before. It could be a Kirby, but I don't know why. But I'm slightly leaning towards Perez as well.
All right.
But then again, it does look kind of old. Like
finally, on Steve.
The artwork gives that old feel, so it very well could be a Kirby.
It's nah.
I'm saying Perez. I'm going with A. Perez.
You're going Perez, and Lauren, you're locked in with Lauren, what's your answer?
Alexis Zurich.
Alexis. Okay, so we got Perez and we got Alexis. Let's find out who it is. Alexis. Who
3-2, Steve. 3-2.
So, Lauren, you're on a roll. You got 3 in a row. Alexis Zarit, one of my favorite artists. He's the artist on Space Riders.
Never read
as well as Night Hunters.
Never read that either.
Two very good books.
I've not read any of the books, so there's no way I could have known this.
But that Perez pick was a little funny. If anything, if I didn't know, I would have gone with Jack Kirby on this one.
I was leaning towards Kirby, but then I was thinking I kind of agreed with Lauren.
That's the problem.
Like it was close, but it felt like an imitation, and I was like,
and this wasn't Perez. If you look enough at how the lines are drawn in the coloring, it can't be Perez.
All right, all right.
I'm hoping my next one is a little tougher because Lauren knows her shit clearly. Let's see what we've got. We got a little Spidey action and something else going on over there.
What
your options?
Fuck.
I have one guess on
your options. A. Is it?
I don't even know that. C. That's the problem. I don't know C.
B. Martin Simmons, or C. Anand R.K.
Now, Anand R.K. was he the one who did blue and green?
He is. Good stuff, Steven. Good stuff, my man.
Well, I think you just made the decision there. The way Sergio made this game, it seems like.
I'm going
A or C, but
I was leaning towards A, but I think
I'm gonna go with C now that
either this is a cop out like what I did to you last week. Either this is a cop out, and you're fooling us right now by putting a bunch of people that we've had as guests or that we've shown a lot of their books, and it's like a gotcha moment where it's like, how did you not guess the books that we've had on previously?
But at the same time,
ooh,
the other dude, Mr. Blue and Green dude, he also drew a completely different style before Blue and Green, I believe. That's what Graham B said.
And Graffiti's Wall, his artwork is not like it is
I'm going
with
C.
Green.
C it is.
See, Lauren, you're locked in with Anand?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm locking in with that too.
You going with Anand?
Yeah.
Yes. All I know.
Steve, we're both just like, we're gonna regret this, aren't we?
What is
If it's
the
Bill,
audience
I'm
thinking?
pissed.
What is the live chat thinking? Because I can't see the live chats right now.
They are saying
I think it's A, which is what I was leaning towards.
No. Some people say B, but Dragon Ranger says C, and Dragon Ranger was right last time, my dude.
True.
Okay.
True.
All right. Let's find out, man. I don't know myself.
Whoa! What?
Simmons.
Completely throw us off.
He wasn't even on the radar.
Yeah.
One, I don't even know his work. I don't even know his work. Off the radar.
Martin Simmons, you know, he does Department of Truth.
Yeah, I mean, Martin Simmons, I
never
can
read
see
it.
the Spider-Man, but the one to the right, that don't look like his art at all.
Yeah. Honestly, like with this one, if I didn't know any better, I probably would have gone myself either Anand or Bill.
Yeah.
They've all got like fairly similar styles. So what are we at right now? We got Lauren with 3 correct answers, and Steve, you've got 2.
Yeah, Lauren's right now winning by 1.
All right, and if I didn't mention it earlier, it's 7 rounds. So Steve, you the pressure's on.
7 rounds.
All right, do it, sir.
All right, let's do this.
All right, so I think we've got like 3 more rounds here. A little DC action, baby. You know I'm a big fan of DC. What do we got?
I'm gonna really slap myself if I don't get this right. Oh,
who drew it? Is it A?
Jason
Rice?
Could be Rucka though. I'm looking at Wonder
Jason
Woman in particular. They both draw Wonder Woman very specifically.
Or C? Greg Rucka.
This is actually getting tricky.
Yeah.
You know what? No, I'm going with Rucka. I looked at that Wonder Woman.
Yeah. That New 52. You know, gotta love it, man. What
No, wait.
B,
I think the chat's right.
I'm going with B. Jason Fabic.
Okay.
Oh no! You know what?
Good old Canadian boy.
I'm changing it to Ivan. It's Ivan. A.
Oh come on!
No,
he didn't say I locked it in. So
you can't go off of.
No, I didn't. He did not say I locked it in, sir.
All right.
That's why you check.
I'm going with B. She's going with A. Let's see who's right. Let's see who's right.
Okay. All right. So Steve, you got B. Jason Fabach.
Yeah.
And Lauren, you're A. Ivan Rice.
For a tie.
Okay. All right, here we go.
It's not gonna be you, bro. That's not
Jason. We got here? Ivan Rice.
Come on. I told you so, Jason.
Now,
I actually remember this because when I made the Who Drew It game,
insider knowledge.
I did Brightest Day, and this is around that time. This is Ivan Resar.
Okay.
Because I put that in mine as well.
Okay, so we've
4-2, Steve. Shape up.
4-2. Now, Steve, you have to get
the next 2 right.
I have to. Right, and you're hoping that Lauren misses. So,
all right, guys and gals in the chat. Guys and gals in the chat, if you want to do me a big favor,
and these, you know,
give a wrong answer and just be very like, give the wrong answer because Lauren just keeps going back and using whatever you say. So
I literally did it once.
So just please
This
chat.
is the only question I've done that on. When I've checked the chat, it's been after I locked in my answer, and I didn't change my answer. You are just a sore loser.
Please
go,
chat.
Turn.
Just give her some wrong answers. Help a guy out.
Okay.
Go.
And a little known fact here. I've got this piece up on my wall, so some of my favorite stuff. Next. Some Godzilla action, guys.
That is pretty damn cool. I don't know who it is, but that's pretty damn cool.
Yeah, how dope is that? Some Zilla action we got going on. Who drew it? Is it Jamal Campbell?
Yeah, I don't think I'll get this one right. I only know Campbell. I don't know these others. It's not Campbell. Definitely not.
Gorham.
Ooh. I don't
know the other 2. Chat, help me out because I literally don't know Dan Moore and Adam Gorham. Like, what are their styles, chat? Because I don't know how they draw. I know Campbell, and this can't be Campbell if it does.
Dan Mora to me is a name that I've seen, but again, I can't even be certain. I remember what his art. I'm going off of. I don't know, man. I'm
going with Gorham. I mean, I know the chat's saying it, but that was my gut feeling. I mean, Dan Moore. I don't know. This seems like an Adam dude art.
I'm going with Jamal Campbell.
Jamal Campbell.
You are so wrong, Steve. Oh my God.
No, but here's the thing, right? If I go with your pick, if I go with your pick, then we're still going to be on the same level. I have to choose something that you don't pick. Otherwise, I'm not going to win.
What is Lauren's pick?
Gorham. C.
Gorham. Okay.
I'm going with Campbell.
Campbell. Steve you
you're so wrong.
I might be. Probably. I got to hedge my bets, though. Right?
Okay. All right. One of my personal favorites. C. Adam Gorham.
Chat.
Yeah.
You have failed me. What the heck? What the heck, chat?
Talking about the chat all said C and you didn't listen.
I was telling them to lie.
Campbell's are. Who are you?
It is Adam Gorham, and another little known fact. I've actually got both those pieces, and the piece on the right there is actually it's a custom piece, only one ever made.
We got some cheaters in this chat, Serge. We got some cheaters admitting that they're Googling.
Oh, wait, so if one Steve cheats, does that mean the other Steve cheats?
I'm not cheating. Wow. Don't you put me in the same cage as that Steve.
Me of screwing up. Don't even.
Come on, guys, scouts.
That was pretty good, Serge. You did a good job making this one.
These answers right now. All right.
Oh, Dan Mora did Once in the Future. Oh, okay. That's where I know the name from.
So that was all 7 rounds, right, Serge?
No, we got one more. We got one more. Last one.
Last one. The only one that matters, as Lauren said.
Decided, but you know.
The only one that matters.
Bonus one? I've counted 7 points so far. It's a bonus one.
No. This should be the 7th one coming up here.
But I have 5, and he has. Oh wait, no.
Yeah.
I'm dumb. Got it. I can't math. Oh, the colors here.
Yeah,
I think I know who it is. I think I know.
Now, you know, I couldn't play this game without throwing in. You know, I love the synthwave style, the pinks, the neons, the purples. One of my favorite art styles. Who are you guys thinking it is? Is it A, Casper, and try pronouncing that last name, Wingard?
Yeah.
Wingard. B, Jem Bartel, or C, Jenny?
So my first thought, before I even saw these, was Jem Bartel because of the coloring and the way her lines are done on. I'm assuming it's her for now. On Darth Vader there. I don't know. This is not Jenny Frizen. I can tell you that. So I'm going. I don't know. I don't know who Caspar is though.
Yeah.
That's the problem. That everybody in the chat saying A, but I don't know Caspar. And if I Google him, I'm
going
cheating,
with A. I'm going with A. Let's do it. Cheat chat. Cheat chat. Cheat chat. Cheat chat. I'm going with A. Casper Wingard.
I'm
gonna go with A too, though. I mean, if it's Jen, I won't be surprised, but I'll trust the chat on this one. Casper.
All right. So you guys are both locked in. This was the final round. Man, you know
what? The people here are saying homesick pilots. Yeah, this shit. That's exactly what I thought when I saw this.
Boom, Casper.
Yeah, I won. I did it, you guys. I did it.
You cheated, Steve. You only got.
The only one that matters is the end, as Lauren has said.
I will read the scores.
You can't fool the live chat, guys. Man, we got some comic connoisseurs clearly watching. You know, shout out all the dope artists. We got Alex Ross, Felipe, Alexis Zarit, Martin Simmons, Ivan Rice, Adam Gorham, and Casper from Homesick Pilots. Thank you guys for playing. Man, that's been fun.
I just want noted that I got slaughtered last week on our game against Sergio, but I killed it this week.
So what was the final score? I think Lauren, you got just about all of them right. Yeah.
It was 5-2. It looks like, I believe.
No, I got that last one.
Oh,
that's a 3.
Oh yeah. Well, what am I saying then? I got 6 right. Sorry, we do points up by who.
Yeah, 6 to 3.
So it was 6-3.
I'm more confident with that.
Joey wants more. Man, I wish I could have seen the comments.
You know, Joey, we would love to do more. Unfortunately, it cuts into our time, which stinks. And honestly, guys, I'm gonna be real for a second. We constantly debate behind the scenes how long our show goes, whether we want an hour and 15 minutes, an hour 30, an hour 45, which we've been doing more lately. So let us know what you think, because if you want the games longer, we'd love to do it. We just want to make sure we're, keeping you guys enjoying the show the whole time, So, yeah, Steve, definitely let us know.
Thank you. Yeah, man. Smash that like button, guys.
Let's Steve over here. Yes, Steve.
I think his name is,
if you haven't already.
His name is Cheatin' Steve. I think that's his name.
nice.
Why? It's a good nickname. Cheating Steve rolls right off the tongue.
No,
I love
I think we should call you that.
I'm not
I
a
think the
cheater.
only one that I was able to fool everybody.
Simmons did
was
kill
on
us.
that
Yeah, Serge. You guys there, man.
Okay. But you guys are good, man. You guys know your stuff. I'm going to have to make it harder next time.
Actually, I got a better nickname for Steven in the chat. Sly Steven. We got a Sly Steven there.
Sly Steve. I like it.
And
all right, guys.
Chat, keep being vocal, and you may one day get your own nickname from the House of Nerds show.
We'll start naming our nerds. Yeah. I like it. So yeah, guys, that was Who Drew It. Sergio, you didn't make me mad today. Bless.
Hey.
No Civil War today.
It's all about the fun here. It's all about the fun,
guys. And
so today we are talking about something that is pretty new. It's something Scout Comics specifically has started. They are doing something called comic tags. And we're going to talk about what the heck those are, what's the purpose of them, whether we think we're going to look into them or not, whether we think more publishers should do them. So yeah, Sergio, Steve, I don't know which one you want to start off, but what the word are comic tags?
I'll start it off. So I didn't know this concept, but after looking into it and finding out more, I'm kind of digging it. As a guy who routinely keeps going to his LCS, which I love, and one of the reasons I keep buying physical books like this is because of the fact that I like my LCS. I like the people running it, and I want to keep contributing to it. Personally, I don't care for physical comics. I'm a guy who I read a lot of stuff on my tablet. I prefer the way the modern colors look on a digital tablet. I like the colors. I like how better they look. Sometimes there are printing errors, which I don't like. Physical copies are not my go-to when I want to read stuff. So the reason I'm picking up these physical copies is to help out my LCS, to show that I care about these books and I care about them. Comic tags kind of changes the game a bit. So for those that don't know, comic tags are these physical, tiny little card booklet type things. This image kind of shows it completely. So you go into your LCS, and physically you pick up this little booklet that should be like the size of that. It's relatively smaller than an actual comic book, so it takes up less space.
It fits in the side in the palm of your hands. They're like maybe 3 inches by.
And it will. They said it does also. It will come in their own, as you can see here, their own kind of plastic bags to make it look like it does feel like a comic book in a way. And you get these cards, and then you open the cards up, and with it comes a plastic collectible card, as you can see here. And on the back of that collectible card is a QR code or the ID, and that's how you can then download the book. Now, from what I've read, these cards it's not just for a single issue. Correct me if I'm wrong, but what I've been reading is it feels like it's multiple issues. It's more so like a trade of the book.
Right.
And the cost of the trade of the book digitally it's cheaper than what a cost would be for the trade as a whole. So normal trade will say ballpark image $15, right? Around there, Canadian or something like that. The price for one of these, which you will get the digital copy of that, is at around $5 or $6. It's at around the cost of a single issue of it.
So
right?
The price on these guys here, Steve, is $6.99. Okay, that's what the price is set up, and yeah, it is. So they're gonna be like whole trades. So I think including in the first wave of releases are these books here. It eats what feeds it. And right now, Scout Comics, it's in the first wave. It is Scout Comic books, but they will be expanding to other publishers.
And from what I've heard also, and correct me if I'm wrong on this as well, but I've heard that a lot of the art on the comic tags to make them more exclusive and more of a collector feel, because that's, again, why we like comics too. People like to collect specific variants now or have the book as its first appearance. I've heard that the comic tags, some of them will also have exclusive art on them that will not be on the comics. So if you want that art, you have to get the comic tag.
Yeah, and certain of those variants, like Lauren mentioned, certain variants you'll have on the top of like the card that you pick up to buy, which will then contain this card here that you see, your collectible card, and that collectible card will have that different cover on it too. And much in the same way as there are comic collectors, there's card collectors, people who are into, Magic the Gathering or baseball cards or whatever. Card collecting is a thing that has been around for what feels like forever, and it feels like it's not going anywhere because there's always going to be people who want to, trade. Like, ooh, I've got this one. I've already got the digital issue, but here's the physical card, and I may not want it. I'll trade you for yours. And that's an idea that I can kind of get behind, where you've already read the book, you own the actual digital issue. Now you're left with this physical card you may care for or may not care for. You could trade with your friends. You could trade with whoever. You could say, oh, I've got this special one. And, the downside is I could see a marketplace where people will try to upsell just the physical card because you have it.
Oh, easily.
Which I hate that aspect of it. But as a man who's trying to figure out what to do with all these physical copies, there's a bookshelf behind me that is filled with them. And at a certain point, I'm thinking, do I just donate a whole comic run to like sick kids, or do I don't know. I don't know what to do because
I don't see the issue with that. I think that's a good thing to do.
But I personally, I don't like having all these books. They're taking up a lot of space. I want to find a way to kind of get rid of them. Yeah. And I like the idea of still being able to go into my LCS, talk to the people running it, talk to people who I see there, still get that same feeling and experience that you would buying a physical, but it's going to save on shelf space.
Well, that's just it, Steve. It saves on your shelf space. That's the idea. And then because it's a physical collectible piece that you can go grab. You can still go to your shop, and for me, a large part of it is going to the different shops on Wednesdays, and it's part of the experience, right? It's a part of the fun, the whole collecting. So you're not losing out on that if it was just strictly digital. And I think what this plays into for a lot of comic collectors is, for me anyways, I've never been a big digital guy. I've been reading a little bit more recently. But, I want to have something. I want to be able to hold and feel like it's mine, it's real, something physical. And this might help the digital sales in comics, because look at other media. You've got, whether it's movie or music, digital sales, they've taken over.
Yeah.
Right? Comics, it's less than 10%. Right? It hasn't really taken off like it has in other, So I think what Scout is trying to do here, they're trying to figure out why. Well, more so than any other media, comics, we're collectors. We want something. So, like Lauren mentioned earlier, you're gonna have you're going to have your little holographic cards, your variants and stuff. So people comic readers, they want to have something to hold, right? So I think this can be a successful venture. Do you guys feel like it's going to, increase digital sales exponentially? Is this something that's going to be almost maybe a fad? What are you guys thinking in terms of the success? 5 years down the line with something like that.
It's one of those things where, comics are a collector's market. They're also a spectator market because they're a collector's market, right? That's never going anywhere. So as much as we may hate the spectator market and people jacking up prices and all that, that's why comics have value, which is also hard to, respect, and a lot of times we don't like it, but that's the reality of comics. That's why I find more value in a physical comic. That's part of it. Also, I like holding my hand. Sergio, I know you understand that because you're all about exclusives and variants and comics building value because of certain things. So that said, I do like that comic tags they're more affordable. Entire trade for $5 or $10.
Yeah,
that's insane to me. That's fantastic. And so that can also help get more people into comics that are lower economic status and things like that, like legit money issues in terms of, hey, now you can get a whole fucking trade for $5, $10. It's nothing. There's no excuse to not buying it. And
what is the normal cost of a trade digitally?
They're,
right
I mean, they're about the same. They are about the
digital...
same as normal trades, to be honest. If a trade is $15, it's probably going to be around $13.99 on digital. I would expect. That's
it is right as of right now. Trades digitally are less expensive than the physical version,
but barely. I mean, it's like $2-3 difference from my experience.
Okay, so then this, if they're setting the price point at $6.99, then and you're getting like this collector's card. I mean, you can't go wrong, I don't think.
The only thing though that it doesn't really kind of take away from, because again, this is supposed to be a replacement for getting your physical comic, right? That's what this is trying to do. What it doesn't do though is it won't be able to get into people who want to read stuff day one. Like read the issues as they come out day one.
Right. Well, and that's really a downside.
It's only to trade people. It's only for people who've got these physical trades. This is the alternative for that.
Well, but here's the thing. Right now, it's only trades. But what if it gets some success? And the way I'm thinking is, so indie comics in general don't run comics. They're getting bigger. Again, we talked about that on our July 4th episode, right? What still runs most comic books? DC and Marvel, unfortunately. The big two. They do money-wise and all this stuff. So I don't think this is going to last unless, you know, it moves up. So, for example, Scout Comics starts it, other indie publishers start doing it, right?
Yeah.
Correct. Yep, Joey, that's about what I'm about to say. If it gets to Image, if Image does it, then there's a lot better chance that DC and Marvel will pick up on it. DC and Marvel have to pick up on comic tags for it to work. Otherwise, yeah, I agree with Joey. Unfortunately, it'll fade. And it also has to be a thing where if DC and Marvel or Image picks it up, they have to do it with single issues too. They can't just do it with trades because so many people, you know, pick up single issues still. And that is a huge part of the comic market. You can't do only trades now.
But I think that'll be tricky because then with single issues.
I think I know a way for them to do it with single issues. So if they do, because again, that big market is getting the people.
Then you have to lower the price point, right?
No. So what you can do, I just thought of this too, because hopefully they think of this. You get the card, right? And the card on it, you say, we'll take for instance, you know, Phantom Star Killer. You get the card, Phantom Star Killer. On it, it says this will give you Phantom Star Killer issue 1 through 5 or 1 through 6, whatever the trade would be. But they release it immediately when issue 1 comes out.
Hey.
And they tie that digital code with it to be able to redeem issues 2, 3, 4, and 5 upon release.
As they come out.
So hold on, Scout Comics. Are you guys listening to this? Because my man Steve just came up.
That's how you do it. That's the only way. That's the only way that you can combat people who go for the single issues. Is you get them on issue 1 and you allow them to be able to get 2, 3, 4, or 5 with that one card.
Can I just say that is Steve's gonna hate this. That's exactly what they did with the Bad Idea books, at least in my shop. I don't know if that's across the board, but you know, when the one Bad Idea book I got was Tankers, and I had to pay for all 3 up front, and then as they came out, I got them at my shop.
That's a good idea. I'll say
honestly,
that's a good idea.
The comic tags, Steve, I think you're absolutely right.
That's the only way you could do it. I don't necessarily think that we need DC or Marvel to be on this. As long as every other indie is doing this, I think it can work. The thing is, I feel like
Image has to get on it though, otherwise it's going to die.
Absolutely, but
and even if Image gets on it, it's not going to still last. The big two have to jump on it. At least one of them has to, and that can make all the difference for them.
I think for the big two, there's no reason for them, because let's look at it in this way. The way I see comics going is there's going to be more digital. Digital is going to be more accessible, especially with the way it's currently going. The only logical way I can see it being more acceptable for people is it has to be a subscription-based model. We've already seen Marvel Unlimited, and we see DC Universe Infinite.
It's DC Infinite,
yeah. Those work, but what they aren't getting into is the day one people. They're not getting into people who are having the access to the day one comics. The only way I see things going for those big two is they take their subscription services, they charge a little extra premium tier, and boom, you get your digital copies day one for an extra fee on your subscription model. Everything is going.
I mean, if you think about
it's the only way I can see those.
If you think about this, now that you brought up the big two subscription models, that could become a part of their subscription model with the comic text. So, for example, because I know, I think I was checking prices because somebody was asking me about them. Marvel Unlimited, they're trying this thing where they have a higher membership level, and all you get with it is like an extra like small thing, but it's like the difference between $60 and $90. It's stupid to me. But what if the difference between the 60 and the 90 or something was the comic tags? You get not only the digital comics every month, but you also get comic tags every single month or whatever they release stuff later, right? And you get them shipped to your house. So you also have the collectible physical copy of those digital editions, which can build value if, you know, if we place it on it. Because that's the thing too. Comic tags lasting doesn't depend on the publisher completely. It also depends on us putting value on these things. The comics market is 100% driven for the most part by us and what we put value on. A comic has no value unless all of us give a shit about it. So we have to give a shit. So if y'all like the idea of comic tags and want them to work, give a shit about them. Put value on them. They will build value if we all do that. If not, it's going to fade.
I think this is it's, you know, it's a hard sell on older collectors, but absolutely the newer generation of first-time readers. This is something that I could definitely see a lot of the younger generation getting behind. And myself, man, I've been adamant about, you know, having a physical copy in my hand. You know, I'm a traditional reader, but, you know, with this comic tags idea, well, keep in mind that I've already kind of been of the, you know, I'm gonna start trade waiting on more titles than I typically do. So this is definitely an incentive for me to trade wait and to collect and to purchase something like a comic tag. I think they're headed in the right direction with this. And it could be big, man. Because look at the card collecting industry; it's massive.
It's just got this
billions of dollars industry. No word of a lie. So I think they could have something here, but
we have
take time. It's not gonna be an overnight thing.
Steve, you have some. I think you have some final thoughts, Steve, as well.
Yeah, I think again for this to succeed, the only way digital comics can kind of go and for it to be acceptable for people who still pick up physical stuff is you have to have something physical. Like what Sergio was saying, collectors need something to collect. And this whole comic tags idea, I love the fact that you still get the experience of going into your LCS if you like it, right? Some people don't. That's what digital comics are for. But this way, the LCSs are still around. They're selling these things. They're still getting, they're still getting revenue from them. The LCSs and all that whole experience of what it's like to go to a good store, the one that you're familiar with, the one that you know everyone. And you still maintain that while still being able to lower your storage space, read things digitally that can look better sometimes than how it does physically. Honestly, I see nothing but benefits for this. I'm all for this idea.
I think it's something that could go.
And I want to keep my LCS around.
Yep.
Sure. And I think that's kind of a good place to wrap it up is, make sure that everybody, you're doing your best to support your LCS and all that good stuff. And again, if this is something that you're like, hey, this could be a good thing, do it. And those of you that are like, hey, I prefer my physical books regardless, great, good for you. But, let's support people that this could help. That's my thought, at least, right? Is that even if this isn't something that I will want for myself necessarily, this can help so many people and it will help the entire industry. And we want comics to stay around. We want them to continue to last as long as they have. So let's do it. Yeah, I agree, Steve. I don't see any downside to promoting comic tags because it's not hurting anybody, it doesn't seem like. So, guys, check out Scout Comics. They're the publisher that's doing the comic tags right now. They're really good indie publisher. We talk about them a lot on the show. They do some great stuff. So make sure you check them out. And Steve, what happened with Yo Comic Club this week?
Oh, thank you for the nice segue.
What they do?
We read Silver Surfer, Volume 1, New Dawn, written by Dan Slott, art by Michael Allred. And this is really the start of a kind of new Silver Surfer type story. This was the start of Dan Slott's era of things, which lasted around between 2 series, because they did, a new #1 for Marvel. It lasted around 30 or so issues, and we just read the first 5. And it was very interesting. Check it out. If you like a nice space cosmic adventure, this is that. Allred's artwork really, really works well for the cosmic stuff. He's got some weird aliens with some weird weird limbs and proportions, and the art is really, really what kind of drives this book home. Dan Slott is pretty good at the the cosmic adventure side of things. And for those that watch Doctor Who, I've seen a lot of people say it reminds them of like a Doctor Who, like a modern Doctor Who show. So definitely check out Silver Surfer Volume 1, New Dawn, if you want to read something new with the Silver Surfer. New as in like 2014 or so.
Cool.
As for next Saturday's discussion, we will not be doing one. So whatever you have.
What?
I know.
Steve?
Sorry, we're not doing one next Saturday, but the following Saturday we are doing one.
Breaking our hearts.
I know. For those who are they're curious of what this is all about, go to Twitter at TO Comic Book Club. There you'll find a Discord link. Come join us on Discord. You're already in the chats here. If you like talking comics, which you do because you're watching the show, or you want to get into reading more comics, you don't know what to read, I've got a list of things that you could read. And Saturdays, 3 p.m. Eastern Time is when our discussions take place. So show up for that, and you can talk to some great people.
And it's voice only, so clothing optional.
Clothing is optional.
In the nude, and you're good to go, baby. So
yes, Saturdays, 3 p.m. Eastern Time.
Sergio adjusts his beard every time. You don't see it, but you know it.
I show up. Button.
He even takes the hat off. It's like you feel something's lighter.
It's nippy in here. All right, Copper Drop, what's going on?
Sergio, you're ready. Damn. Copper Drop, that's right. Last week I won with Ordinary Gods. Sergio, you picked yes? Or was that Steve?
I picked.
You picked.
Yeah, it was Steve. That's right. Yeah. What did I have? I forgot what I had.
You had
the Ghost of Hiroshima. That was
Ghost of Hiroshima. That's right.
That's what it was.
So, Ordinary Gods #1. We all already know how I feel about it. It was my #1 pick of the week. Sergio, what did you think about it?
Ordinary Gods was written well. Is a good fantasy kind of genre book.
I was gonna say you don't like fantasy. Did you like this at all?
Well, so that's the thing. For whatever reason, I'm really not into the fantasy genre. So it didn't necessarily pique my interest, but I can definitely appreciate how a lot of readers are gonna enjoy this book. It was interesting. It was fun. And how I believe Kyle Higgins is the writer, correct?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, he laid everything out nicely. So for me, I'm just gonna tell you guys right now, it's a cop. Okay. It's a good book. Now myself, I'm not really gonna. I don't think I will continue the book. No knock against Ordinary Gods or the writing or the art, which was good. I'm not a fantasy guy. It doesn't particularly tickle my fancy.
Does that count as a cop then? If you're not copying it.
Yeah, because if I didn't not enjoy it,
he enjoyed it.
I'm not gonna sit here and say no, I didn't like it. It's a drop. No, it's good. It's just not normally my thing. But yeah,
Steve, what do you think? Yeah. Since you picked it, do you regret going with my choice?
I don't regret going with this choice because I feel like I may not have liked Sergio's pick if I read it. My thoughts on Ordinary Gods, I enjoyed the fantasy aspect of it. For a first issue, it kind of did what it needed to. There are certain parts where it did feel a little bit exposition heavy because there's a lot that they have to get across to the readers of what is going on in this world. And I understand that. I felt the way Kyle Higgins wrote it worked really well. Like, it didn't feel too exposition heavy, but he had to get some stuff across for you to understand what's going on in this story. For most of it, as I was reading, I was like, okay, this seems like a usual #1. And then something happens in it, and we're not going to spoil, but something happens. And that moment is when I was like, okay, this book has legs to me. Like, this book is willing to take a chance, willing to throw a curve in its story in a #1. And to me, I think that's what makes a really good #1 is you can understand the concept, you can understand where things are going, and then they throw you a curveball. And now you're like, I didn't expect that. Where are we going now? And that's what this book did. And for me, I'm kind of agreeing with Sergio. I think this is a cop for everyone because this is a nice way to do a number one. We've talked before about how sometimes number ones can falter. That's what I was feeling initially until a certain point. And when that point came, I was like, I got to see where this is going now. This is a very different story than what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I'd agree because I mean, it's very exposition heavy at the beginning of the book, and so if you're turned off by heavy exposition, hang in there because something happens. It starts picking up in the middle, and then towards the end, something very specific happens that it really can change the game. So if heavy exposition can turn you off, just read the whole issue. Don't stop reading 6 pages in. Like read the whole issue, then give us an opinion. You know, I totally feel you on that, Steve. And honestly, it kind of felt like I was watching the first episode of a TV show, to be honest. Yeah, in a good way. It worked. So
it's definitely a concept that I can see be taken to
Three
TV.
cops.
3 cops.
I think it's
that's pretty cool. We don't have that too often.
It's a 3-way cop. I'll go there.
It's a 3-way.
It's a tri-cop. It's a tri-cop.
A tri-cop. Okay.
That sounds weird. 3-way cop.
What's wrong with tri-cop?
Yeah. It's got a nice ring to it. Yeah, guys, so go out and get it, man. Like I said, I can see how a lot of people are going to enjoy this book. And, you know, I've seen a lot of good buzz about it, and rightfully so. It's really well.
And I saw Joe here in the comments being like, he'll pick up and trade. Bro, this issue 1 reads like a single issue 1 should. So I'm just going to say that. If you want to wait for trade, go for it. But this is something that I think, depending on how the next couple issues go, obviously, because it's number 1, I think this will read fairly well issue to issue.
I think so.
Maybe that's why it bothers me. But so pick it up. And let us know what you think. Let us know if we are crazy or if we were right to you. What do you guys have for me this week? Since I'm hosting, that means y'all get to try to sell me on some books. What we got, y'all? Who wants to go first?
Steve, you wanna do the honors and
I'll go first. I guess I can go first.
Yeah.
I guess I can go first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nobody ever wants to go first.
First is a hard sell, man. And then Sergio just comes in saying, look at the writer and the artist. You got to pick it up, fam.
Look at this picture. It's nice. Go grab it. Let's do it.
All right, Lauren, I'm going to try to sell to you Man-Eaters, The Cursed, or The Cursed, I don't know, number 1. English language is weird sometimes.
Yes.
I'm going to say it's Man-Eaters, The Cursed, number 1. This book, I don't know if you've read the original Man-Eaters or not. I haven't. I don't know anything about it. But Man-Eaters, The Cursed number 1, is from the same people who did Man-Eaters. But it is not a sequel story from what I'm reading of the synopsis. It's not anything like that. So it's very much so a new number 1 that you can get into. This is a story that is about a 15-year-old girl named Maud who is sent to craft camp. Who doesn't love arts and crafts? For the week, and at that craft camp, things go pretty sideways, and that's pretty much all the description has to offer. So it feels like it could be a thriller type horror or something to that effect. The writer is Chelsea Cain, who, if I'm not, I could be wrong, but I feel like Chelsea Cain is the writer of the short but much acclaimed Mockingbird that Marvel had for a bit. And the artist is Kate Niemczyk. I could be pronouncing that entirely wrong. But that is my pick. Man-Eaters, The Cursed, number 1. It's supposed to be a very feminist book because it says adolescent feminist in the bio.
Steve.
And
you were already struggling with your sales pitch, and then you just had to get 2 on the head. I don't know. Never be a salesperson, Steve.
Yeah,
never.
Well, then
crafts camp.
Okay. All right.
Arts and crafts. Who doesn't?
Do I look like a craft camp person to you, Steve?
Maybe.
I gotta be honest with you guys. I've never been more disinterested in a book.
I feel like Steve. You know what you should have done? Man. It sounds like you should have gotten Elle to help you out in the chat.
I know.
Yeah.
She sounds like she knows what she's talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're saying.
Okay, so my pick.
I'm just going with what I'm given here, man. The number one doesn't give me much to offer. It's a craft camp in supernatural horror.
Yeah, you know what? In our defense, the number ones this week were slim pickings. But I do got the winner here.
All right.
I got a heater from Aftershock Comics.
It's Aftershock. I like that.
Steve, are you gonna throw that bad boy up, or am I?
I wanted you to say the name for.
Beyond the Breach.
I was gonna give you good timing here for the
Beyond
sale.
the Breach, number one, Aftershock. It's a writer that you guys are gonna be familiar with. He does a lot of Marvel. Ed Bryson. He does Uncanny X-Men, Old Man Logan, Ghost Rider. So it's gonna be good, written well. The premise. It's almost got like it sounds like the Fog feel to it. Some things are coming across from like some other dimension, monsters. So what do we got here? Life sucks for Vanessa. Her mother just died and her boyfriend is cheating on her with her own sister.
Well,
to clear her mind, Vanessa is taking the California road trip that she's been dreaming about for years. So they're going through some old forest. She's on a hike, and then the breach hits. It's a bizarre anomaly, and the sky plunges California into a nightmare world populated with extra-dimensional creatures, and they've got to survive.
Look at all those words you were given to work with for a sales pitch.
Yeah. Hey.
Lucky you.
Man. And look at that variant cover. It looks dope. This, in all seriousness, it sounds interesting. Yeah, man, you got other dimensional beings coming through. So you've got this main character. She's trying to survive, and she comes across a little girl who she's trying to help survive this scenario, right?
Maybe they should take that little girl to Man-Eater's Camp Crafty, and she'll have a great time.
No, sir.
Ella's
really just like
here.
in craft camp.
No, sir.
Ella's saying, Lauren, you're gonna love Man-Eaters if you haven't read it yet, and it's the same crew who did the original Man-Eaters.
I have a decision, but there's some things to it. So number one, based on sale pitch alone, and if I knew nothing about these books, or one of them in particular, I'll say that in a second. The winner is Sergio, obviously. But that said, let me say this. Again, I do reviews for the Wednesday poll, guys, and I have read Man-Eaters, actually. I have read Man-Eaters 1 already. I had an advanced copy. I did like it. But this is Copper Drop, so pretending I don't know anything about the books, I'm going off their pitches completely because, I got to go with Sergio's.
Hold on. You've read Man-Eaters, The Cursed number 1.
Yes, because I got an advanced review for the Wednesday poll.
And you know it's good. And you're taking it away from our chat for us to discuss next week. You are depriving our chat.
I'm not taking it away. You can still pick it up and talk.
Nobody in the live audience.
If you pick it up now, Steve, I'm judging you because you're all about it. No, it's good. But that's the thing. That's not right in terms of what I do for the Wednesday poll, guys, has nothing to do with the show. And that's why we don't talk about what books you pick, so that I go in blind. And you had no idea I'd read it.
This is another Wonder Woman 80th, this is another Wonder Woman golden. What was it? Golden.
I hadn't read Reptilian or Wonder Woman that week.
This is another. I'm getting cheated by Sergio's craftiness every time. Lauren is the one to pick. I don't
craftiness. He read a description and showed a picture.
Or I just know how to pick him, bro. I just, I don't
know. Reptilian was a bad pick. I'm sure some of your others are bad picks. I think we're gonna regret this one.
Yeah?
Maybe. I think so.
So we're gonna say
Beyond the Breach number 1. We'll check it.
Beyond the Breach number
1. But if you do like really good comedic supernatural horror stories like that, Man-Eaters is good. Again, I've read an advanced copy of it. Haven't decided if I'm gonna write a review for it or not yet, just because I have a lot of things going on. But yeah, see, Sly Steve, teach Steve how to pitch. You can do it. Yes.
Okay, so I'm hype. We haven't done an Aftershock book, I think, in a while, and so
I think you're right.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. They've got good stuff.
Yeah. So
week. Guys, read along with us, please. Beyond the Breach number 1. Let us know your thoughts as well next week, and you guys can just praise my good decisions week after week, my good choices.
Steve's ready to fight. We
will see how it goes next week.
It's gonna be good, man. It's gonna be good.
No, hold on. I'm not here next week. You'll see how it goes next week.
Oh, that's right.
Oh my God, Steve! Guys, you just wouldn't let me say it beforehand, would you? So, yeah. So this has been our show today, peeps. We're picking up Beyond the Breach next week. Steve will not be here. This is twice in like a month span that he is absent. We're counting your absence, Steve.
Who cleared you? Who gave you the day the week off, bro? Because I know I didn't sign off on that.
I talked to the admin and the admin said it was okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Sergio, we need to work with our ghost admin, because why would they approve that? Why?
Yeah. I didn't. Okay. Well, Steve, we're gonna miss you next week, buddy.
Yep. So Steve's gonna be gone next week. You got us nerds though. Make sure you like it. As Steve said earlier, Hulk, smash that like button. It's super easy. It's just click. Subscribe, ring the bell.
Oh
no!
What happened? We lost.
What do we do after we ring the bell, Lauren?
Pardon?
We lost Lauren.
What do we do after we ring the bell? You froze there for a sec.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe, ring that bell, and make sure you check the description for all our links. Steve, where the world can we find you and TO Comic Book Club?
They can find me on Twitter at StovePost. They can find Comic Book Club at TO Comic Book Club. There you're going to find the Discord link. Come join us. You're going to love it. I know you are. You're already in the chat. You're watching this. I know you're going to love it. Come join us.
Serge, where can we find you?
Nowhere. I'm ghosting everybody. Hey, before I get to my details, I wanna give a thanks to everybody, as usual, who comes out every week, man, and makes this House of Nerds show experience a great time, man. Thank you guys so much, everybody in the live chats, everybody who's gonna watch the replay. Appreciate y'all. We're growing. We're just getting started.
We're giving nicknames out. You keep being a recurring character. I'm gonna come up with a nickname for you. I'm already looking at Joey P here.
Steve's already got a couple lined up. I can see it in his eyes, guys. He's gonna give you a heater of a nickname. We're not playing around. We're just getting started, baby. I'm Sergio, Insert Name Inc. on Twitter, Insert Name Comics on Instagram. Always happy to hook up you guys with books. If you want to start a pull list, looking for any back issues, hit me up, DM me, shoot me an email. Happy to help connect you guys to good books, man.
Find him on Facebook too. He has a Facebook page. Insert Name Comics, I think too, right, Serge, on there?
It's all in our bio, yeah.
It's all there. And you can find me on Twitter there below at friendly MBHD by. You can find me on Instagram at friendly neighborhood bye. It's all in the description. Just read there. Time us on Twitter at House of Nerds Show.
Oh, we're losing her again. So you know what that means, guys. It's time. It's time to wrap it up. Steve, shall we just wrap up the episode today? What do you think?
At House of Nerds Show. Come back next Sunday for these two lovable folks at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Maybe they got a third. Who knows? Maybe they can carry a show by themselves. Who can say? Come back next Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time for more House of Nerds Show shenanigans.
We'll see y'all later.